Alright. I'm here. Hi. Can you believe it's already almost the end of, fuck, October. There we go. I was like, what day is today? But yeah, can you believe it's already almost the end of October? Feels like not much time has gone by. But but it does mean that but it does mean we are quickly approaching the end of the year, which is crazy. But how should I start this off? But in terms of the finale to Saintmaker, yeah, it's the final part already. It's crazy considering how extensive the letter was. But again, this was a significantly shorter game as opposed to the letter. But what can you do, right? But basically, for those who are not in the know, I'll do a more extensive recap when we get into the game proper. But basically what happened last time is that we finished Saintmaker in the longest stream I've ever had to do, which is insane. And it was so long that I decided to shut my computer down for the night instead of just letting it go into sleep mode like I normally do. That way I can have at least like maybe 7.5 to 8 hours of just like inactivity, which I think really helped. I think it really helped. But as a consequence to that, we had to take a whole week off instead of finishing this up on Sunday, because last Friday was rough, it felt like. But we did finish up Saintmaker. So basically, I'm not expecting this to be a super long stream, like maybe 2 hours at most. But yeah, like 2 hours at most, maybe. So that, and this is basically just to get the secret ending, or secret scene? I mean, on the Steam store page, it says that Saintmaker basically has like a normal ending, but then there's like a secret scene afterwards. And I'm assuming we didn't get that. At the very least, I did go looking last night to see if there was a walkthrough or a guide to potentially get to this secret ending, and there is one walkthrough by someone. How do you pronounce that? Mitaine? Krok Mitaine, whatever your name is, I'm sorry for mispronouncing it. Basically, I have to follow their playthrough, because basically, the way that this is working is that this person, the person who created this guide, basically, they put down their exact playthrough in order to get their secret ending, quote unquote. But I think it's more of an achievement for the secret scene. And basically, they do, so yeah. So that's the guide we're going to be following tonight. Now, in terms of, because the thing is, right, that obviously some of these choices I did pick on my first playthrough. But thankfully, because Saintmaker has the lovely option of skip mode, we're basically just going to be skipping through most of the story. I will be reading out scenes that we didn't get to see in our playthrough, so that way there's at least some mystique, some intrigue. But other than that, yeah, this is not gonna be a super long stream. Like, I'm presuming we're not gonna even have a break tonight. So, which is good, because, oh my god, last week wiped me out. Like, I was, like, I'm not blaming anybody. It was my own choice, and I did enjoy, the ending to Saintmaker last week, but, oh my god, it was... I think you guys could tell how tired I was towards the end. I mean, again, like, it was almost 8 hours. Like, if it weren't, like, I would have ended stream, like, I think 5 minutes before the actual time if I wasn't, if the encoding did not make the stream lag so much. And we're still gonna we're still gonna have to deal with that tonight. Hopefully not to the same degree as it being, like, 4 minutes after the fact. But still. Jesus. But yeah, this is gonna be the finale to Saintmaker. So, I think it's about time we start heading into this. But obviously, even though we're gonna be basically going through an abridged version of Saintmaker, as always, we must check out the description down below in order to read the list of trigger warnings that Saintmaker provides us. So, down in the description below is this. Content warning. Due to the nature of this game, here is a list of some of the subject matters that will be shown in Saintmaker. Child abuse / violence against children, religious abuse, homophobia, trauma, discussions of suicide, and death. If at any point you feel uncomfortable watching or you feel the need to stop, click away or stop watching. Your mental health matters, and I want this to be a safe place for viewers, even if you feel the need to step away. And I say this with the utmost respect. Please take care of yourself. Give yourself a little kindness, and I will be trying to extend the same courtesy to myself as well if the need should arise. So with that out of the way, we're not going to be closing out of Firefox this time. We're just going to be clicking out of everything else before then. So, because I need to have the guide up. So, I will just do that. We are going to have loading here, and then we're going to pull the game up. But yeah, just, I mean, physically, last week was rough, but emotionally and mentally, I imagine it was pretty rough for those who played through this game, because, whew, that was a lot to go through. That was a lot. That was a lot. And I will say this, I will be doing, like, my closing thoughts on this game tonight. It's just that last week was basically the majority of it. This is just, like, miscellaneous stuff and whatever the secret ending shows me, I guess. Whew. Oh, our tiny game screen. Ah, right. Right. Almost forgot too. Okay. Alright, thankfully, I remembered that we gotta raise the desktop audio up because the volume is pretty quiet. I did take a look back at the VOD, and I got it to where, okay, now everybody's audible. So, what happened last time in Saintmaker? As I said before, we finished the main playthrough of the game. Now we're just going through a bonus to see if we can get the secret ending. But essentially, we learned the backstory of what happened 50 years ago. We learned that the nun, the first ever nun we met in the first stream, was actually a younger Adira, which is surprising. And we basically learned that she had a very close friendship, quote-unquote, relationship at least, with a young girl named Cornelia. And these two were very close, like, to the point that where I think it's pretty safe to say that they loved each other. Because of the fact that, I imagine they bonded over the fact that they were both kind of like ostracized because they were so different from other people. And all that. I mean, Cornelia was, I don't think we ever got an exact age on how old she was, but she was essentially like maybe an 8-year-old girl who came to the convent, presumably for the same reason as Holly and Gabby, which was to become a proper child of God. However, her time was not necessarily pleasant, because presumably both the other kids and the other sisters in the convent would constantly berate and scold Cornelia for doing essentially normal child things. Even going so far as to take away Cornelia's beloved plushie, her unicorn, Dami, which really upset her. And Adira, comforted her throughout that. And we did find out that Adira did talk with Sister Idalora, because back then she was alive, about giving Cornelia her stuffed toy back. But unfortunately, that wasn't exactly great, because it turns out that Cornelia's beloved plushie got stripped of all its uniqueness into being a proper horse of God instead of a unicorn, because for some fucking bizarro reason, all the nuns and even the saintess was like, nah, he's got a devil horn. But basically, when Cornelia, in a fit of emotional lashing out, rejected it, basically, it was at that point that Idalora was like, well, there's only one thing left to do. We gotta lock this child up in the tomb downstairs. So they did. And Cornelia died because of it. Presumably, I don't think it was ever stated what she died from. I'm presuming it was starvation/dehydration. Because she was locked up in basically like a casket, or like a stone coffin, like for days, until she eventually died. And Adira, kind soul she was, kept begging Idalora to let her out, like she learned her lesson, but unfortunately it didn't come to be. And the trauma and the grief of Cornelia's death affected Adira so much that it turned her into who she became today towards Holly and Gabby. And we learned all of this via Cornelia's ghost. I wouldn't say reaching out to us, but basically through Cornelia pretending to be Liana, Holly's sister. Holly reached out to her, and that's how we learned the story of her and Adira. Speaking of which, we also found out what really happened to Liana, and I kept coming up with all these crazy theories of like, oh, maybe like Holly and Liana's parents murdered Liana. That wasn't right. Maybe Liana killed herself. That wasn't right. Or maybe like it was a case of murder, but they made it look like a suicide. That wasn't it either. Basically what happened is that one night Liana went out the window to get her and Holly's secret box that was full of things that they hid from their parents. She fell off the roof, and she presumably died when she fell to the ground below. I don't think it's ever outright confirmed whether or not Liana died instantly, or if she died a slow, painful death. I mean, Holly believes that it might have been the latter, because she swears she heard Liana calling out for help, but Holly just ignored her. But again, it's never outright confirmed. But we did learn that the abuse that Holly and Liana went through was so bad that Liana was suicidal, or at the very least, like, was thinking about ending it. I mean, she straight up said, "I want to die." And unfortunately, despite the so-called happy memories that Holly shared with Liana, it turns out that these were more of what Holly wished she did, instead of basically being very cold towards Liana. And that was actually really sad. It was actually really sad because it's like it makes sense. And again, like I remember saying this towards the end of last stream that it is awful how Liana treated I don't even remember what name I said. Holly treated Liana. But it's also important to note that they were both victims in this household and that they both underwent abuse, even if Holly had it seemingly better than Liana. And Holly, presumably in her mind just thought Liana was being difficult. I mean, obviously now she realizes the error of her ways, but it's unfortunately too late, where she can't ever make up with Liana and such. But towards the end, the convent burned down because of Adira's crazy ass, thinking like, we just need to become proper children of God! But, we were we were able to get everybody out of there alive, and Adira was able to at least make amends with Cornelia before the convent burned down fully, and presumably Cornelia passed on? Who knows? But we don't really know what happens after that. And I'm hoping that the secret scene that we might uncover will shed some more light on that. But, yeah, but regardless, like, this was a pretty, like, wild ride. And, who knows what else we might uncover. So, I will start a new game. But we're just going to be going through skip mode. Alright, so, just skip through it. Alright. Alright, so we're just going to be going through. Oh! And this whole thing here with the, Alright. So yeah, we also found out that whole thing with the nuns praying and such, that's basically like a residual echo of the past. Like, that's what we heard when they were praying for Cornelia's soul. Alright, so, let me get the walkthrough up. Alright, so, again, we're going to be following the exact choices that this person made. So they have a little thing right here, which is a what you need to know. And it says here, basically, to obtain this achievement, which is something we didn't get last time, you need to be nice to Gabby. You have to compliment her name, her bracelets, say that you're on her side, and overall picking up all the positive choices. You need to be on her good side and never lie to her. It's also important to tell Adira the truth about breaking the stained glass, which we did in our first playthrough, because we're not letting history repeat itself. But yeah, so we're going to be following this person's exact playthrough. So let me pull up the game. So what does... Probably going to need to, Alright, so... Let me get everything pulled up here. So, tell her what she wants to hear.
You're absolutely right.
Okay, so that's what we did here. That's what we did. But she can't just take it. Alright, I remember last time that we said just let it go. However, the walkthrough says we can't let her take it.
Wait, please. Yes?
Oh. Sorry. I kind of Steam notified me to let me know, hey, my friend is playing a game. I was like, huh? I thought I got an achievement already. I was like, huh? Alright.
Yes, she can. Of course she can. There's no use arguing. Better just let the whole thing go.
So is this... Okay, so that's not new. Alright, here... Alright, get ready to expect some lag. Alright, tell her that Gabrielle's a cool name.
Hello there. Pleased to meet you. My name's Holly. And for the record, I think Gabrielle is a pretty cool name.
I don't know if that's new.
Had a classmate named Gabriella. Really smart. Ran for the student council. Though now that I think about it, she might have lost. It was close, though.
Yeah, okay, so this is not new.
Good to know.
So sarcastic.
So, are we the first ones to arrive? To think that I was worried I might have been late.
Okay. Skip. Alright, I think I did this choice. She's got cute bracelets, talk about that.
So,
I think we did do
those are
this.
some cute bracelets you got there.
Look, let's just cut to the chase. What are you here for exactly?
Yeah, I think we did do this. Okay. Again, I'm not expecting this to be super, I'm not expecting this to be super long. I'm not expecting this to be a super long stream, so... Sorry, I'm looking back at the log to make sure I don't, like... I think we did do this one as well. Yeah, I did do that choice. God, this is gonna be a lot of just, like... This is gonna be a lot of just, like... Did I do that choice? I don't remember. Did I do this one?
That's right. This won't do at all. I'm supposed to be talking to God. Focus, Holly.
Okay, I think I did do this. Yep, I did do that. Listen, we're trying. We also know what the sound of that noise was. The sound of that noise! The source of that noise! It's Liana falling to the ground. Not that, though. And the humming is Cornelia. Okay. Alright, get ready for lag. Because we're going to be seeing Adira and Gabby. Alright, now this one I don't think we did.
Well, it all dates back to the beginning, doesn't it? Eve leading Adam astray. Original sin has left its mark on our souls, and thus man must live with concupiscence.
Concupiscence? What the fuck is that word?
A lovely textbook definition of the matter, Miss Beltran. But we're here to talk about you.
Alright, I think we did do this. Okay. American celebrities. So this... We picked reproductive health last time.
Well, there's American celebrity...
Miss Beltran, I recall confiscating a particular book from you the other day.
Skip past. Maybe you should talk about it.
No. We don't talk about that.
Is everything all right, Holly?
Alright, skip past that. Did we do this choice?
No. That's not going to work. I just make her mad. Oh, it just make her mad. Raised voices, shouting, then a whole new set of rules to make sure it doesn't happen again.
Yes.
I think we did do this. Again, it's so hard trying to remember what choices I did and didn't make, because it's like, I want to make sure, like, we get new stuff, obviously. Oh, okay, I remember what we said here. This is a new one.
Look, I know you're having trouble dealing with Adira. If it helps, whenever people say things that upset me, I try humming a nice little tune in my head. Sometimes I even think of a scene from my favorite story to match the song. Then afterwards, well, I can go about the rest of my day like nothing happened.
Humming in tune, huh?
Sounds like a great way to let people walk all over you.
No! It's a way to keep things peaceful and happy for everybody.
Why is she being so difficult?
Look, we're both stuck here with her, and we're clearly not changing her mind.
Alright, so this is old. God, all these sound effects are great. Alright, don't worry, it's nothing.
Yeah, that's right. Don't worry, Holly. It's nothing.
I wonder if this is what Cornelia saw.
You're just imagining things. It's fine. It's fine. This is all fine.
Okay, we're gonna skip, because I don't think that's new. Wake up, wake up, wake up.
I need to wake up. Move. Come on. If I can just move my hands, then the rest will follow. Please, get up. Move fingers.
Okay. Making sure. God, with how fast we're going through this, it might be an hour, honestly. Okay, she seems to be loosening up, joke around. I think this is new.
I know, right? When it came to schoolwork, I felt like a parrot memorizing and repeating things on cue.
That's right. I felt the exact same way, like squawking obedient little birds.
By the way, I think I was right that because we saw the voice actors last time in the credits, and they said Elsie Lovelock was the voice for Adira. And I think if I have to look back, I think that is Marianne's voice actress from the letter. Because if so, like, holy shit, the range.
Though, to be fair, such things are a necessary part of our education. It helps keep the mind disciplined, lest our thoughts idle elsewhere. However, when it comes to saints, I always found their stories to be so much more interesting than simple dates.
Okay, I think this is old. Yep. This is also another thing.
It's too bad, though. The paint's peeling off.
Ah, yes. And to think I just treated that one a few years back. It's very odd. No matter how many times I try to paint her, it all just comes right off.
An oddly pleasant conversation.
Must be the humidity.
When she's not preaching, she doesn't sound that bad.
That's too bad.
I think this is old. Glad we don't do that anymore?
Glad we don't do that anymore.
I think this is what I picked, yeah. God, again, it's so hard trying to remember, like, what choices did I pick? Like, some of them are easy, because I'm like, yeah, that seems about right. Alright, comes a lag. Time to be the middleman again. Did I do that one last time?
I'm confident we can all tell the difference, Sister Adira.
Yeah, I did do this one. Okay. Alright, get ready for the PowerPoint presentation. Tell her on your side. Okay, I remember that, yeah, we were here, so let's do this.
I'm on your side.
Really? Do you really mean that? Because it sure doesn't feel like it. I see it, you're either a liar or a coward.
Okay, considering the fact that the guide said that this is... Considering that the guide said that we have to be nice to Gabby and such, I'm wondering if the secret scene's going to be just concerning Holly and Gabby. Alright, skip through. Alright, sorry for the lag. Just apologize, then they'll leave you alone.
Oh, I'm really sorry. We were just...
Did not the Mother Superior explicitly forbid you to speak?
Yes. Yes, she did.
The simple virtue of obedience. Is that so difficult to grasp?
Okay, I think this is old. Yep. Tell her to shut up. Yeah, I remember last time we said to slap her.
Yeah. Go on, Holly. Shout it to her face. That's what you want to do, right? What's the matter?
Alright, I think this is old. Yep. Is it because Gabriella is right?
No, she's not right.
She's not.
I just have a way of doing things. A system. It works.
Okay, skip past. The facts tell a different story. I remember that. Ba-ba-ba-ba. Sure didn't work out for Liana. Alright, and this is obviously...
Stop it. Shut up!
And there's younger Adira. Fuck Ida Laura. Oh, that was the moment that gave me severe anxiety. So let's make our wishes come true. I think... Okay. Let's see. Relax, Holly, you're not thinking straight, back to sleep.
Go back to sleep? But if I do... No. No. I can't let that happen again.
Okay. She needs you.
That's right. She's there. I heard her.
Need to go. Need to keep moving.
That's right. Over there.
Alright, skip. It's kind of exciting, don't you think?
That's right. It is kinda exciting. That's why my heart's beating so fast.
Okay. Tell her the truth.
There was this sound. Didn't you hear it?
Throw her words back at her, because I remember we did that. The fucking babies. Yeah, and then that fucking terrifying thing. What was the point of the babies? Cornelia wasn't an infant. Just skipping past all this. You thanked her for sharing the book with you.
Hey, Liana.
A reminder, dear, of how things used to be.
Yes, that's it. A reminder.
I wish I could remember.
Things were so different back then.
I think we did do this choice. Yeah. Just 5 more minutes.
Please, 5 more minutes.
What do you mean 5 more minutes? Jeez, I'm not your mom.
Alright, Nadira's freaking out. Oh, wait. Oh, here comes a lag. We gotta lie here? Oh, boy.
We could just make something up. Make it seem like we weren't at fault. And we really weren't. We saw an intruder. A rat toppled it over.
Well, you see,
There's something very wrong with this place.
Okay. Best letter B. Oh, I remember now, because this was where we found out Adira was going fucking nuts.
I'll just be on my way, sister.
Yeah, and we got that achievement.
Whatever happened to your little friend? We tried, and we pried until his horn was all but gone.
So she's talking about Dami.
But it wasn't enough, was it?
Cornelia's plushie.
You cried, but we still did it. Because we cared for you.
I think this is old. A little peek couldn't hurt. I think we just did that. Yep. But strange isn't really a bad thing now, is it? I think we did that. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna check something real quick. Skip mode. Yes. Stop skip at unread. Oh! Wait, stop skip at unread. Why is that off? I thought it was on! Fuck! Shit. Well, it's fine.
It sounds almost magical. Yeah.
It sounds almost...
I think we did do this, so... I'm gonna make sure that shit is on. Wait. What the fuck does that mean? Instant or classic? Stop skip at unread text. God, I can't believe that was off. Just take a step back and calm down.
Look, let's just calm down. I'm really sorry if I made you mad.
Please, you apologize all the time, and you never mean it.
She's not listening. Just calm down, Holly. Calm down and tell her what you're thinking. Is that so hard? You've already seen ghosts. After that, this doesn't seem so scary.
Maybe you're right. I do say sorry a lot, don't I? So I'll stop that. You don't like me. I get it. And that's fine. I honestly don't like myself that much either. It must be nice. Nice to be able to look people in the eyes and talk.
Okay.
That's the thing. I can't be like you. But I'm not the source of your problems here, okay? Whatever you did to land yourself here, that's on you. It's not my fault you got caught going to your wild parties where you do drugs.
Alright, that's... Oh, this... Oh, God.
Is that why you think I'm here?
Well...
First off, even if I did do all those things...
Yeah, we did see that. Because I was thinking, it's like, am I crazy? It's like, I was thinking to myself, like, am I crazy?
I'm sorry. would always take us to these church meetups.
Alright, I think we did see this. Tell her the truth. We know. Feel really good to hear that crack again. Plenty of stones to go around. This was different.
There's plenty of stones to go around.
Oh, whoops. The fucking... Alright, get ready for the lag. Tell her the truth. There we go. Then we get slapped. God, I'm still so upset that why is that option not on? It's like, no shit, I don't want to skip new stuff. Alright, writing, because we did say drawing.
Well, I like writing.
Oh, I see. What do you write about?
Fanfics!
Oh, you know, just a little bit of everything. Essays for school and diary entries.
I see. Back in the day, when some of the younger girls were bored, I gave them journals to write in, much like the one I gave you. In their prayers, some of them would write down such intimate secrets, things I could never imagine them saying out loud. Others would be a bit more creative, making up fanciful stories about their stay here.
Like Cornelia?
Some of the other sisters thought it was a waste of time, however. Well, just look around. This convent has such a rich history to it. And, thanks to their writings, the many works of Saint Idalora are now preserved forevermore.
So that one over there.
Oh, that. Yes, why, that's Saint Idalora herself.
Oh.
I've been meaning to get to that one for the longest time.
Okay, I think we've seen this. Don't get carried away. I just ask if these... I think I did this one.
It's just also...
Yeah, I did. God, I still can't believe they have that. Why would you not have that? Like, why the fuck would... Like, the letter... Like, I will say, the letter did have that problem where it's like... Even if it's text that you've already read before multiple times, it wouldn't skip it because you were technically on a new path. And it's like, no, don't do that. Let's see. A sister in the making, perhaps. I think I did that one last time. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Jesus Christ, so loud. And then sword fighting. Okay, I remember what I did here because I remember what I said here because I remember we joked about this.
You really aren't.
Did you hear that little squeak? That's so cute.
Just what the hell are you thinking, Holly?
Oh, and then the good times are over. Alright. Just apologize and take the blame.
Look, it's my fault. I'm the one who found it. I just thought it looked really interesting. And I'm sorry if I wasn't
only take so much more of your apologies, Holly. Remember what you told me when we first met? That you are here to improve? But something about this day. Mistake after mistake. You can do better, Holly. Get out, both of you. I don't want to see you in this room again.
And that's not new. Just a little peek. And just skipping past all the... Is that supposed to be Cornelia? It sounds like it sounds like a baby. All right, we did that choice. Same as before, fighting doesn't help. Go back to sleep. That's new.
Come on. Just go back to sleep.
And that's not new. Oh.
God, pray for us sinners, now and the hour of our death. Amen. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with you. Blessed are you among women, and blessed is the fruit of your womb, Jesus. Now and the hour of our death.
And that's Cornelia.
In the hour of our death. Hour of our death.
God, it's like, it's doing that thing again where it's like, I already read some of this, I don't need to be told again. Alright, I'll start speaking the truth.
I promise to start speaking the truth.
That's what I picked last time.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of something else. It's been hard, but I feel like I'm slowly learning to do just that.
Holly, I sense that you are distracted.
Get rid of that. Excuse me. Just start going through everything. Of course it does.
Of course it does.
I already picked that. Oh god, the PowerPoint presentation. There we go. Are you just gonna cry again?
Shut up!
Okay, we already went through that. Mom is looking forward to hearing your adventures. We already did that one. Everything is fine.
I'm okay.
Everything is fine. Everything is daijoubu. Yeah, it sounds like hell out there. Don't go, don't go, don't go.
Liana! Don't go! Don't go. You know, I'll always be waiting.
Ba-da-da-ba-da-da-dum. her, it's her, it's her, it's her.
That's right. Liana. She needs me.
Alright, we already did this. I've always hated this painting.
Yes.
We already watched that. Perfect, just like in the stories. I don't think we did this one.
That's right. She was always shown to have roses. Because blood would blossom all over her crown.
Oh, and this... Oh, yeah, this was when Adira was asking Cornelia to go with the sisters that would eventually lead to her death. And then this creepy shit right here. Be not afraid! Hello! And then that creepy shit right there. And then the bracelet. Or the rosary. It's a bracelet. Enough, Adira. There are more important matters.
More important matters? But this is important. No. Composure. Composure.
And then that's something we knew. Because you do not need to. I remember we did that choice. Why is it so hard? Oh, this is where the creepy shit with Adira was happening. It's like we are gonna have some rituals. And then there's the tomb that Cornelia died in.
If I recall correctly...
Alright, this is new, because I remember last time this was with the drawing, but we went with writing this time.
You've told me that you like writing.
Now write down this prayer 1,000 times in your prayer journal.
Yeah.
Excellent. Because I find that the act of praying is not so different from the act of telling a story. Except prayers are always true, while stories... Well, stories tend to lie. Now, here you go. I'd like you to read prayers from this. And much like reading a particularly riveting story, I want you to make sure you remember it.
Okay.
Go on.
Dearest Heavenly Father.
Oh, right.
Please wash my blood-stained hands. Tear off the lying flesh of my lips. And place upon me your thorny crown.
Can I skip this?
This... I've never heard of this prayer before.
I also pray to you, dearest Heavenly Mother.
Why is it not skipping?
Keep going.
We've already read this.
May you sculpt my every action, fill the cracks.
You know what's actually really funny?
Upon me, and paint a smile on my face, so that I can become the woman of God that you want me to be.
So, I remember I brought up, because you know how Cornelia, her face is missing, right? I actually was thinking about this after the stream was over last night, where it's like, I wonder if it's possible that the prayer was in some way referencing Cornelia's face being missing.
Go on. Again.
Why am I getting encoding overloaded?
Excuse me?
You will spend the morning repeating this prayer until the words are written into your very soul. Trust me.
God damn it, come on.
Many a saint has heard God's voice through prayer. And seeing as my sisters have shown themselves now...
Yeah.
again,
Shush.
Dearest...
Come on. Yeah, I was gonna say, this isn't new. We don't need to, like, reread it. Oh god, PowerPoint! Never mind! Where are we?
Wait, just... where are we?
And then I think, okay, we did pick that. And there's Cornelia. I actually need to look back at that CG. And then lag. You're lying.
No.
Because... No, it's not like that.
No, not real.
Oh yeah, this was another scene that I was gonna tear up at because it's like, bruh.
Goodbye.
She's here, she's here, she's here. Oh yeah, this creepy shit. And then that.
We have to be right. Otherwise, we'd be lying. And liars go straight to hell, don't they?
Shut up!
We do, after all, love making up stories. Beautiful stories where we get to be the good guy. Where we get to be the hero.
I don't think we had that.
Shut up! Stop talking!
Then blah 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 blah. Fuck Ida Laura. Oh, this scene. We had that really pretty string instrument. Oh yeah, and then Adira knocked Gabby unconscious. Oh god, we have to pick this choice? Because that's what Ida Laura said to Adira to justify Cornelia's death.
That's right. There was no other option. I had to do it. I had to. Cornelia. But there's still one other. I can still reach her. I can still save her. So many have been lost.
God, it's so hard.
But I won't lose another. I will not lose another.
Because you lost Cornelia, but you're not going to lose Gabby and Holly. Skip. Just relax, Holly, you're safe.
That's right. Safe and sound. Yeah, this is relaxing.
And that's not new.
Liana, what's with that look?
And then that. We skip that. Man, why was I a better sister? Maybe she had a bad dream. I think God.
Did you have a bad dream?
Man, we did do most of the choices right. Jeez. All right, the crosses. Silly Holly Spacing Out. Did I do this one? I don't remember.
Silly me. You're right. Sorry, I guess I'm still a bit sleepy. Come on, let's finish what we started. Our very own masterpiece.
And then that's Cornelia again. It ain't finished till we sign it.
Signing it?
And then that's right. Oh, we can give her a hug.
Well, I guess you liked it then. Of course.
It's absolutely perfect.
Yes, so perfect. But that's what's wrong here, isn't it? No.
No.
And then that's not new.
No!
I wish it were like this. I really do.
And then that's,
But this
God, it's not skipping again.
isn't how it happened.
Skip. Alright, now we get into the thing with Cornelia. And then the PowerPoint presentation again. Oh wait, not the PowerPoint. Why did I say the PowerPoint? Not yet. Oh yeah, now the PowerPoint. By the way, these sisters were calling Adira a whore in front of a child. Yeah, so that's the plushie. And then this was a part where it made me cry. All right, let's help her water the flowers. Get this really beautiful CG. How about Kylie?
How about Kylie?
Tell her the truth.
It's like what you said.
God, we really did pick like the right choices for like from this fucking walkthrough by complete accident. And then there's Ida Laura, the scary bitch. Yeah, and then they just destroyed her plushie. I don't think you guys are gonna see that in the playback. I didn't even check to see this VOD though, because I was like, dude, I don't want to see the PowerPoint. And then all this. And then the creepy shit with... And then I got slapped again. Alright, we have a system. Yeah, this violin right here. I need to look this song up. If I have to buy the soundtrack, I'm gonna be a little upsetty. Upsetty spaghetti. Oh Lord, guide me so that I may see the truth. We did that choice. It's so hard to think with all that noise.
Be quiet. Quiet. Be quiet. 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 I need quiet.
And there's Gabby. You failed them. You failed everyone. I think I did that choice. Don't listen to her, child.
Stay away. I will not listen to you. I will not. I will not.
I don't remember if I also mentioned this last time too, with like the red voices.
You're still hearing her, aren't you?
Laia.
I hear her too. All the time. For all her talk about perfection, she was very good at leaving her mark on people, wasn't she?
Shut up! Not another word!
We weren't able to save Cornelia. But please, Adira. Now there are two girls right here, very much alive. We can stop it. Please.
But what can I do? If I let them go,
Then you can confess.
God damn it, come on.
All this
All
time.
because the name tag is different,
That's all
probably.
we've ever wanted, wasn't it?
but the Order's name,
will receive the judgment it deserves.
please, Adira. Let's end this. I...
What if she's right? I can't let this continue.
Please, listen! No!
Silence.
Silence! Dearest Mother Idolora, fill the cracks that sin has left upon me!
Drowning me out with prayer?
And paint a smile on my face!
And then skip this. Alright, we're almost done. Alright, and this crazy shit right here! The delusions of grandeur really hit the spot, didn't it? And then this fucking crazy shit here. Where she freaking locks us in the tomb. Alright, she needs to calm down.
Adira?
You need to... Damn it. I shouldn't be laughing at this. I need to stay awake. Ba 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 ba. You thanked her for sharing the book with you. Yeah, so this is where we learned about Liana. So what if you are? Just relax.
So, I am?
Okay, I did. Yeah, you helped patch her up. And then, again, we really did pick most of the options, didn't it? Just...
No, there's no stopping this. I've already given my answer.
And then we did that. And then there's Liana falling. And then there's Cornelia. Tell her the truth. Not yet, I still need to stay awake. So this is the last choice. Alright. Everything's on fire. And then we have this freaky shit. Ba-da-da-da-da-dum. And then we have this fucked up CG that I don't think is supposed to happen. Like, with the graphics fucking glitching. God, I hate that this happened. Then we skip through it. Okay. Alright, here's a new scene. Alright, we're good. We're Gucci.
Feel that?
Yeah,
Oh.
finally that cool mountain air.
Oh. Oh. Are they holding hands? Alright, so this is completely new. I knew, because here's the thing, we were missing 2 CGs, so this is one of them. Ooh, are we actually gonna, I was hoping for more sapphic, I was hoping for some more sapphic action.
Makes you wish we signed up for a summer camp like the normal kids.
Hey, Gabby.
I'm excited.
Yeah?
Thanks for helping me out back there.
Well, yeah. Waking up to that.
Man, this is so fun. Like, it's the middle of summer. It's a summer night. We got fireflies.
Must have been terrifying.
Imagine this is taking place in June. It's like, oh man, truly a game for the sapphics.
Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure what happened back there. But those things you said to Adira, it was nice hearing you get that off your chest.
Well, I'm still learning.
That's fine. So am I.
Oh, that's it?
What's so funny?
Just look at us. Out of breath, stumbling through the night. I've got ash on my skin and mud all over my feet.
Actually, where is Adira? Like, is she just resting somewhere? Going off into town to tell them, like, hey, the convent's burnt!
Not exactly the happy ending you wanted.
Yeah. But that's okay. I mean, I'm feeling happy now, strangely enough. I guess that's what matters. So, what happens next?
I'm not really sure. It's a long walk to the nearest town. We find a phone. I can give my mom a call. Maybe she can pick us up.
How are we gonna That's a good point. It's like, how are we gonna explain what happened? It's like... It's like, how do you explain to your parents what happened? It's like, hey mom, yeah, that's that convent you sent me? Yeah, the sister burned it down to the ground.
Oh boy. I don't even know how I'm going to explain all this to her.
Yeah, right?
But you know what? Maybe that's the first step.
What do you mean?
I want to talk to her. Like, really talk to her. About my dad, about the faith. How I really feel. And in the end, she might not listen, but... A near-death experience, freaking ghosts, a burnt-down convent. You gotta admit, it's one hell of a conversation starter. So, who knows? Maybe she'll be open to it.
Maybe Adira will be like, yeah, I burnt down the convent. It wasn't Gabby, I promise.
I see.
How about you?
That's actually a good question.
Ooh, alright. Well, I'm going back home. I'm going to try living on my own. So here's the thing. The walkthrough does not say shit for this. So this is our choice. There is another guide here, but this one's more for, There is another guide here, but this one's for, like, this is for, like, for the 100% run, which I'm not doing. doll. Is there anything on here that says, like... Doesn't really say anything. I mean, I guess we could just pick, I guess. Going back home, I'm going to try living on my own. I did save, right? Yeah. Just in case. Maybe this.
I won't be going home.
Yeah, because, I mean, it's like, Holly's gonna be miserable going back home. And I don't want her to go back to that. Like, I mean, the thing is, though, is that, like... I mean, because obviously, right? Like, I don't want Holly to be going back to that place. I mean, she's still being abused, not to mention, it's like, her sister is dead. Like, I imagine if there was one person that Holly would go back to, it would be her sister. But, no. So it's like, I would be like, yeah, let's try living on our own, you know? But it's also like, you're still 15. Where are you gonna go for a 15-year-old? Like, do you have any family you can go to?
I think it's best I leave that place behind.
I don't know. We can reload and see, like, what happens, maybe? But,
Where will you go, though?
yeah, exactly. It's like, that's a good question.
Haven't thought that part through, to be honest.
We just crash with Gabby. I doubt it, though.
I've got a cousin who cut herself off from her family. Maybe she'll let me stay with her.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh.
you could also stay with us, even if it's just for a bit.
Would your mom be okay with that, though? Oh.
I mean, we've got a spare room in my house, and, well, if everything goes well with my mom, then, we can work things out.
Aww. Oh, come on, this is not fair.
I'd really like that.
We'll reload choices if this goes well.
Yeah, great. Cool.
Aw, she likes Holly. I mean, obviously we know that, like, Holly was starting to feel on Gabby a little bit, but I think it's showing that it's a little reciprocated. Not to mention, Holly needs an actual friend her age, not just adults in her life.
Man, I'm starving. That's one thing I do miss about my mom. Looking forward to her cooking. Can you imagine how weird it's gonna be? The two of us showing up looking like this.
Oh, we'll be fine.
Looks like we've got one hell of a story to tell her over dinner.
Yeah. It'll be weird. It'll be different. And I'm okay with that. Somewhere in this forest is a stream. It's there. I can't see it, but if I listen hard enough, I can hear it. If we're lucky, maybe we'll pass by a flower bed and a grove full of old trees, just like the ones in storybooks. I'm sure you would have loved it, Liana. And I'm not sure if these words will reach you. But for what it's worth, I do still owe you a story. It's all jumbled up. I'm still trying to put all the pieces back together. But I can at least tell you how it ends. And so, we both kept walking.
Aww. Look, the gaze.
Hand in hand through the trees.
And the height difference, though.
The sound of leaves crunching beneath our feet. But underneath the light of the moon, with the glow of fireflies lighting the path, and the warmth of her hand on mine, the forest was not so dark at all. Not in the slightest.
Achievement unlocked. Not in the slightest. The forest was not so dark after all. Yay! I like that. I mean, I was asking for more sapphic stuff. To be fair, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. Like, these two have not really known each other for much long, you know. But it is weird that it's like... Oh my god, this was a... Alright, let's see. Yeah! Look at that 100 run! I mean, we already had all this. But yeah, so... look at this poor excuse of a horse. This poor thing. But yeah, we got everything. But, okay, where was it? Where I was like, I want to look at the, CG real quick. Not the C... What was it? It was one of these things where I was like, well, I need to look at the CG real quick just to see, like, what's going on, you know? There's no way it was... Yeah, this one. Oh, I didn't even realize. Her hand was unbandaged. And then there's Cordelia. Okay. So let me check the achievements real quick. 70%. But yeah, so this was okay, so Not So Silent After All was the achievement we got for just finishing the story, and then this is what we got right here. Man, we got most of the achievements, but hey, you know what? I will take the fact that we got all of these. One hundo. Alright. But yeah, as I said, this was going to be a short stream regardless. But I guess now I can see, like, how far behind are we? Hopefully not too far? Actually, wait a minute. Hold up. But again, it's just like, I mean, I will say that I do like that there was a bit more resolution to Gabby and Holly, because, like, at least with at least with Adira, it wasn't so bad. You know, because I was fine with her being left like that. You know what I mean? Like, her resolution was good. You know, she at least finally got to patch things up with Cornelia and get to see her again. And Cornelia was, and and hopefully Cornelia was able to, like, move on, and move on to heaven after being able to settle things with Adira and tell her, like, hey, love you, you know. I guess I shouldn't say love you. Let's see. Oh, whoops. I forgot to put the poster. Sorry. Oh, we're actually not that far behind. Yay. I say. I think, well, I think we're just a few seconds, honestly. Yeah, we're just a few seconds. That's fair. But yay, we did it! Oh, whoops. Oh, okay. Ah, okay. Let's see. I'm just looking at the, I'm just looking at the achievements right now to see, like, oh, what do we need to do? Okay. Love that. No longer alive. Okay. Anyway, I wanted to take a look at that real quick. Sorry about that. Alright, so I guess, like, there's, like, some last-minute things I want to talk about. So yeah, if you want to know my more in-depth thoughts about the game itself overall, best check out last stream, because this is basically where I'm going to start talking about some things that I was thinking about, because it does, I do feel a little bad that it always takes me, I mean, I guess, like, on the one hand, it's good that, like, I'm allowed some time to think on something when I'm not streaming, because, like, it lets my, like, I get a chance to decompress, there we go, to decompress and just think, like, okay, well, you know, without having to, like, do it live, if that makes sense. But yeah, it's like, there were parts I was thinking about, right? Like, and one of them was, of course, I mentioned earlier, like, why is it that Cordelia, I keep wanting to call her Cordelia, because that's usually my go-to with that name, but it's Cornelia. So, I was wondering, because obviously, if you remember last week, I was freaking the fuck out when Adira was basically trying to persuade Cornelia to go with Idalora and the rest of the sisters for what would eventually be her death. And I was freaking out because I thought that they were going to do something to her face. When in reality, we didn't get that. which, thank God. But I was thinking to myself, like, why is it then that she is considered faceless? And there's two possible reasons for that I was thinking of. One, and this was the one that I was initially thinking of, which is that maybe the reason why Cornelia is faceless is because of the fact that because Adira couldn't perceive Cornelia, like she couldn't hear her, obviously she couldn't see her and all that, like maybe the reason why Cornelia was faceless was because like Adira was trying so hard to like repress the memory of Cornelia. Because, I mean, obviously we saw how wrecked Adira was after Cornelia's death, right? And so maybe to her it's like, you know, suppressing everything there was about Cornelia, you know, in an effort to, you know, minimize or lessen the pain that she felt, that maybe that was the reason why Cornelia was faceless? Right? Like, if that makes sense? You know, and maybe, like, basically, like, every time that Adira thought about Cornelia, her face would show up, and it's like, it would just hurt so much, and Adira was just like, I don't want to think about that. But I will say that theory or reason doesn't necessarily line up with, like, how Holly would, I mean, because Holly had never met Cornelia. I mean, maybe that's a thing, too. Like, maybe that's the thing, is that, like, because Cornelia and Holly had never met, you know, like, maybe the reason why Cornelia didn't have her face was because Holly couldn't imagine. I mean, it's kind of like the whole thing where it's like, you can't dream about somebody you've never met, because when you think, and that is I think that's a thing, that's like an actual phenomenon that happens, is that when you dream, like, you can only really dream about people you've met, or at the very least, like, you can dream strangers, but their faces are pretty much blank. You don't know what their faces look like, which makes sense, because dreams usually pull from your brain, like, your memories, your imagination, and such, and it's like, yeah, how would you, like, why would you dream of somebody you've never met? You know, and maybe throughout, like, you know, the viewing of Cornelia's memories, like, before we saw each memory, Holly just could not, like, think of what Cornelia's face looked like until she got to her memories. Because, I mean, maybe, like, what I'm trying to get at is that maybe, like, during that moment, those scenes in which Holly was going through Cornelia's memories, like, the in-between spots, Cornelia was faceless. Because Holly couldn't, you know, I mean, she didn't have a frame of reference for Cornelia's face. But when we were diving into Cornelia's memories, it's like, well, yeah, Cornelia's face is there, because why would she forget what she looked like? You know what I mean? Like, does that make sense? I don't know, it's another thing. But the second theory I was originally thinking of, and this was something that I had to sit on, was the prayer with Idolora. Specifically the part, like, tear thy flesh off my lips, or something like that. And I was thinking, like, does the prayer have something to do with why Cornelia's faceless? Like, just because of that little bit, like, tear the flesh off thy lying lips, or something like that. I mean, granted, that still doesn't really explain why Cornelia's face was taken instead of just her mouth, but I don't know, just thinking of something, I guess. I don't know. It's a thing. So there was that. Another thing I was thinking about was because towards the end of the last stream, we kept seeing Adira talk about how she was ostracized from the other sisters because she couldn't hear God's voice. And it's kind of an interesting thing to think about, because, I mean, I will certainly say, I mean, again, like, having spent years, like a handful of years, with churchgoers and such, it is a very interesting thing for me, whenever someone said, like, oh, they heard the voice of God, or they had a vision where he came to him, and, you know, or they had a dream where, or a vision, or whatnot, right? You know, or even, like, you know, and I've even heard stories of how, like, of the adults in my life talk about how, like, they just had that sign, you know what I mean? Like, that sign from God that told them that they should do this or they shouldn't do this, you know? And it was very, and it's always, and it's interesting to think about that now, considering, like, I mean, considering my own complicated relationship with my faith and God, you know? Like, I mean, I think as of now, at this point in my life, like, my relationship with my faith is pretty non-existent. like, I feel like I pretty much toe the line between being, like, Christian and agnostic, you know? Like, I will say this, I'm not an atheist. Like, I mean, because it's like, I do believe there is, like, from my own personal beliefs, like, I'm not saying, you know, other people shouldn't think this way, but it's like, from my own personal beliefs, I think there is, like, some kind of higher power, some deity overlooking us and all that. But whether or not it's God or some other entity, I don't know. And even if there was, like, again, I think, again, like, I have a very complicated relationship with God and faith and all that, but going back to what I was saying, it's like, it's a very interesting thing, because even as someone who tried to, I don't want to say be a proper child of God, because I don't think there is a way to be a proper child, because it's like, I mean, because of the whole saying, like, you know, that God makes you in his image, and it's always perfect, and it's like, well, how, you know, and to me, it's like, well, if he thinks we're so perfect, then what reason is there to become a proper child of God? You know what I mean? But, as someone that did the routine, you know, that did go to church every Sunday, that did pray, you know, like, and read the Bible and such, it's like, I never felt that connection. You know what I mean? I never felt that connection. And I think, and I don't know whether or not it's just because I just don't have that connection. Maybe I just need something a little bit more substantial or whatnot. I just never had that connection. And I think like the moment I kind of realized that was like towards the end of my church going years, that it's like, I just don't think this is it for me. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, obviously for some people, they do have that connection. They do have that, what's the word? They do have that pull, you know, and, like, because for some people, religion is that it for them. Maybe it's just not it for me, which is perfectly fine, like, you know, which is perfectly fine. I mean, faith is just one of many things in the world that is very abstract, and can be very much interpreted through many different lenses, you know? And I can definitely, you know, but I can also imagine that, you know, for someone who grew up, you know, with a much stricter upbringing than I can also understand, like, how distressing it can be to hear people around you claim that they've heard the voice of God or had visions of him and such, and yet you've never had that. You know, and of course, if you grew up with people who very much were pretty abusive in that regard, you know, you were almost led to believe that you weren't trying so hard, that you weren't as faithful as you were led to believe, which to me is a form of gaslighting, but we'll not discuss that. But I imagine it is pretty distressing. You know, because you know, and as someone who also has never done that, it's like, what would that, like, to me it's like, I never want to discount people and their experiences, because it's like, again, strange things can happen all the time to people and all that. Things that can't be easily explainable. I mean, I've gone through my own things that were pretty unexplainable without logic. You know, my brother has gone through things that, like, are pretty unexplainable and without logic. You know, like, there are just some experiences in life that can't be explained as anything other than extraordinary. And I think, and I think people's experiences with what they believe as God is one of those things. And I never want to discount those experiences because I don't understand it. But it is something that leads me to very much want to question somebody, being like, do you honestly believe that you heard the voice of God? Do you honestly believe that you saw him in a dream or a vision? Do you honestly believe that this one specific thing is a sign from him that you should have, that, your life has taken this direction? You know what I mean? And just ask them, like, how do you know that it's God? How do you know it's not just some other thing? How do you know it's not just yourself? And I think it would be a very enlightening, like, discussion to have. It's like, man, we're getting all philosophical here. I mean, granted, it does feel like I do delve into some of those philosophical topics from time to time, but this is really getting philosophical. But going back to the game with Adira, like, to me, right, I wouldn't necessarily say that, like, just because you don't hear the voice of God or you don't see him or whatnot, doesn't mean you aren't faithful. Doesn't mean that you believe in God any less. Like, maybe that's just how it is sometimes. Like, that's just how it is sometimes. Sometimes you don't get to have that. But that doesn't mean that you're any less faithful. But obviously way back when in the 1950s, I think, 1950s, 60s, whatever, obviously with Adira, it's like, she didn't grow up, or I shouldn't say grew up with that. Wow, I could not think of what the past tense of grow was. But I can understand, like, why Adira probably felt very distressed by that, considering that her sisters were pretty much, like, abusing her and telling her, like, that she just didn't that she needed to try harder, that she needed to pray harder, when it's like, some people just don't have, I mean, even if it is possible that Adira did, like, even if it's possible, even when Adira did seem to have, like, a strong connection with God, like, maybe maybe, like, her kind of connection was different from other people. I mean, that's another thing to consider, is that, like, just because one's relationship with God manifests itself in one particular way doesn't mean that it's going to manifest itself with that another individual's relationship with God is going to manifest in the same way. Like, it's different. Like, that's another thing to consider. Maybe Adira's relationship with God, like, maybe it did manifest itself in a way that Adira could understand, but the sisters couldn't and thought it was their way or the highway. And maybe that was the thing with Cornelia, was that, like, I mean, granted, I don't know if it was ever proven that Cornelia's relationship with God was, like, similar to Adira's, or even if she had a relationship with God, or if she was sent here over, like, if she wanted to go here, or if her parents sent her, like, who knows the circumstances, right? But maybe that was another thing that bonded Adira and Cornelia, was maybe their relationships with God were similar to each other as opposed to the other sisters. And then, like, and that's a whole other can of worms that I don't think I necessarily have the eloquency or the charisma to talk about. So I do want to move into the red voices. And and what I mean by the red voices is basically, like, when Holly and Adira were both having their little breakdowns, they would hear, like, red voices. And I was thinking to myself, like, these have to be different entities. And I'm thinking to myself, like, because I think with Holly, I think some of the red voices are like her or her like, how do I explain this? Like, are her mind's preconceptions of Liana, but I also think it's an excuse me. But I think the red voices for Holly are also just another part of her that realized that like she fucked up. She screwed up when it came to Liana. And like I think it's different parts of Holly. Like one, her sense of what's right and wrong, her sense of morality, and realizing like she screwed up when it came to how she treated Liana. And I think another part of her like self-loathing as well, because a lot of those choices were very much like Holly talking down to herself, berating herself, and all that. Like, I don't know. And as for Adira, I'm most certainly of the belief that it's Adira's preconception of Idolora. Because it's like, that little glimpse we had of Idolora talking to Adira, like, and I mean old Adira, not young Adira with Cornelia, no, that delusion we had, I think that's how Adira sees Idolora, which makes sense. I mean, again, like, I talked about this last time, where Adira seemed to very much idolize Idolora, which, by the way, I also realized this, idolatry is another blasphemous sin against God. Like, I don't think you're supposed to do that. Like, let me look this up real quick. Idolatry. Let's see. The worship of idols, extreme admiration, love, or reverence for something or someone. Yeah. I love this. Why is idolatry a sin? At the root of all sin is idolatry, the worship of something other than God. Fundamentally, created things should not worship any part of the created order. Images should not worship other images, oneself or otherwise. The first instance of idolatry recorded in the Bible resulted in a cosmic tragedy. Don't know what that is. And then, of course, according to Britannica.com, don't know if this is a reputed source, idolatry in Judaism and Christianity, the worship of someone or something other than God as though it were God. The first of the biblical 10 commandments prohibits idolatry. Quote, y'all, quote, you shall have no other gods before me. So yeah, already it was very interesting. So yeah, the very fact that so the idea of Adira worshipping Idolora as an idol, like that, she was already committing a sin right there. And remember how I said last time that Idolora was also committing a sin because she was pretty much putting herself on the same level as God, which is considered blasphemy or sacrilege. Like, what is the difference between blasphemy and sacrilege? What is the difference between, that's not how you spell blasphemy, blasphemy and heresy. Well, what's sacrilege? Here we go. Okay. Sacrilege is the violation or injurious treatment of a sacred object, site, or person. This can take the form of irreverence to sacred persons, places, and things. When the sacrilegious offense is verbal, it is called blasphemy, and when physical, it is often called desecration. So yeah, so Idolora was pretty much performing sacrilege, putting herself on the same level as God. Because I don't know if it's stated in the commandments or the Bible itself, but you're not supposed to do that. You're she's human first and foremost. She was a human and mortal. They're not supposed to put themselves on the level of God. Like, that's considered sacrilege. So the fact that Idolora was doing that, she was already committing like a pretty grave sin and all that, But regardless, like, Adira very much worshipped Idolora and very much idolized her. And I think I remember saying this last time too, where that maybe in order to cope with Cornelia's death, she had to pretty much buy Idolora's justification, because otherwise, it would mean that her beloved idol, her beloved saint, had killed a child. And then as I said before, I don't care what... here's the thing. Cornelia was still a child. A little girl that unfortunately never got to live the life she deserved to have. Because according to Idalora and her messed up beliefs, she thought that Cornelia wasn't a proper child of God, and essentially just locked her in a tomb with no food or water, which I'm assuming led to her death, or maybe even suffocation, because we heard her. She was having a mental break, which, for an 8 or 9-year-old child, ripped away from everything she knew, even from her one ally in the place, stuck in a fucking tomb where a bunch of women are praying, without, in a dark, confined space. She was probably having a severe mental breakdown. Definitely anxiety attack, if not a mental breakdown. So it's either Cornelia died of starvation, dehydration, or suffocation. It doesn't matter, she died. And Idalora basically tried to justify it as there are just some people that God's light cannot reach, when it's nah, you just fucking locked her in a tomb. And I don't find that right. Nothing can ever, is, to me, right? And maybe to a lot of other people, nothing should justify a child's death. It's one thing if a child dies due to health concerns, or just freak accidents, right? But this was neither of those things. This was a woman exerting her power over a child, which then led to the death of said child. And then she tried to justify it, which is there's no justification to be found there. And again, I have to question, what the fuck did they do with the body? What did they do with the body? How did they explain it to Cornelia's parents? Whoops, sorry, your child just died. It's how did they explain it? Not to mention too, and this idea just came, thought just came back to me. They were force-feeding Cornelia pills. I'm assuming pills that would, make her behave more, which is, again, Cornelia was just acting like a regular-ass child. Of course she's gonna act out. Holly even said it herself. She was acting out so she could get attention and love, which she didn't get. Oh my... Excuse me. But, yeah, it's just God, my throat is getting sore. But yeah, going back to the red voices, I am almost certainly of the belief that Idalora is basically Adira's red voice. I keep calling her the red voice. It's fucking Umineko. It's here's the red text if you want to see the truth, Batlakun! God. Maybe I should get Umineko. No. I think I've talked about this, but I don't know if I've ever talked about my relationship with Umineko, but I will say this right now, I don't think I'm ready for that. I have gone through 2 playthroughs now of episodes 1 through 3, and each time I am left more frustrated and angry, and I'm nah, I'm not ready for the familial politics of that shit. Anyway, yeah, and it also just occurred to me, that even the parallel, I remember calling attention to the parallels between Holly and Adira, but it's actually very interesting that Liana and Cornelia also have, pretty much share the same role for Holly and Adira, which is that the person, which is that they are the girl that Holly and Adira failed. You know, Liana, you know, like Holly failed in being Liana's sister, which led to her death, and Adira failed in being, you know, the mentor that Cornelia relied on for love and support, you know, resulting in her death, her protection. Actually, I guess that's a good way of putting it. Like, Holly and Adira were supposed to protect Liana and Cornelia, and they failed in that. And, you know, and maybe that's why, like, because, God, and it just occurred to me again, like, last time I think it was last stream where I brought up the whole thing of, you know, that, you know, because when I was still trying to figure out the story, like, bringing up the whole idea, because I brought attention to how Holly and Adira both coped with stressful situations with a very similar method of, like, telling themselves everything's going to be fine, you need to compose yourselves and such. I was thinking that, like, maybe Adira is supposed to be what is going to be what Holly ends up becoming if she doesn't rein her shit in. But I wonder, but I'm also thinking, but now I'm thinking that, like, considering all that I've discussed, like, that, you know, like, that in order for Holly to reach out to Adira, she needed to realize that she needed to stop lying to herself about Liana's death. Like, she needed to stop lying to herself about how she treated Liana, how she should have treated her better. And only then by, you know, by reaching that conclusion that she needs to start telling the truth, she needs to remember Liana as how she was, and, you know, even, you know, and remember how she treated her, and basically doing all that, you know, that Holly could reach out to Adira and help her realize that you need to stop lying to yourself about Cornelia's death. You need to realize that in a way you did fail her, but unlike Liana, you still have the chance to reconcile with her, because she wants that with you. You know, and obviously we saw towards the end there that, you know, Cornelia and Adira were able to have that one last moment where they were able to settle things. Adira was able to, in some way, you know, apologize to Cornelia, and Cornelia was able to tell Adira, like, hey, you know, I don't know if I would say, like, you know, she forgave her. I mean, I think she did, but hey, I'm all right now. You at least saw me again. And now I know for sure you didn't hate me. You never hated me. Now I can move on to heaven. Which is where I think Cornelia probably moved on to. You know, whereas the rest of the sisters in Idolora can go straight to hell. Listen, listen, I'm always gonna be able to believe of, like, hashtag fuck Idolora. Hashtag fuck Idolora. I'm trying to think, like, what else is there to discuss? Oh, the secret scene. I did notice, because it did occur to me, that's like, this really is like Kylie Taylor in The Sorceress of Witchwood. I think that's the book. And I will say, I do like that, like, you know, at least with the choices that I selected, that, like, I do like the idea of Holly, like, you know, getting herself out of that household and moving in with someone that isn't gonna, like, force their beliefs down their throat. Like, because I think the first step, at least for Holly, to get some help is to just get herself out of that toxic environment and into a place where she is going to be able to process her trauma in a safe place. You know, so the idea of Holly being able to reach out to, you know, a cousin, I mean, hey, that's better than a stranger. And at least, you know, Gabby offering her help, her home to Holly while she's trying to figure that out, I did think that was really sweet. And I do have hope at the very least that Gabby and her mother are able to reconcile their their issues and such. Because again, I wouldn't be saying that if Gabby didn't talk about the night before her mother took her to the convent, where they were actually able to, you know, reminisce over old times. You know, like, I mean, I'm not saying that excuses Gabby's mother's actions, but I think that's supposed to be a hint that maybe, like, the mother that Gabby knew is still there. Like, you know, maybe something just needed to happen for her to come out. I don't know. It's just, and I do like that Gabby is even open to the idea of reconciling with her mother, like, and having like a nice, serious talk with her. And even though Gabby says that, like, yeah, it's true, she may not listen, it's like, I don't know, maybe it's possible that, you know, the mother will listen to her. I don't know, it's just, is it me hoping for the best? Maybe. But overall, like, the fact that, and I said before in the scene that, yeah, Holly really does need somebody like Gabby. You know, like, first of all, a friend her own age, which is really good. That way you can get that relatability. But also, like, you know, a girl that can help Holly, like, realize, like, hey, things, you know, you're not supposed, like, that it's okay to be a kid. You know, to be 15 years old or whatnot. But overall, like, this was a game that gave me anxiety. But in a good way. And I'm really looking forward to see what Yang Yang Mobile has more in store. Like, this came out, like, I think almost 10 years after the letter, because I think the letter came out in 2014, which was surprising, so it's been almost 10 years. And this came out, like, in February of this year, so I'm really excited to see, like, what they have in store. I just hope there's not as much of a gap between the horror games this time around, you know? And maybe make it a little bit more scary. Again, like, it feels weird that this game was labeled as a horror. Like, it is a bit of a horror thing, but again, I said this last time where, like, the horror kind of just disappears after a while. Like, I think, like, after, like, once you get past, like, Cornelia's faceless ghost, it's like, it's not that scary. It's just very tragic. If anything, I think if anything, it's more psychologically suspenseful and thriller-like than horror, but that's just my opinion. But yeah. Can't wait to see their next horror game, whenever that comes out. Anyway, so, in terms of, what the rest of this month is going to be, I genuinely don't know. I brought up that I might have one last game to show for this month, but the thing is that because of the game being like a 3D game, I don't know how this computer's gonna handle it. I mean, the game came out in 2017, and this is like and this whole PC right here is like 2016. So maybe it's possible that it may be able to handle itself, but I don't know. We'll just have to see when we play it. However, because of that, I am gonna have to think of a backup plan. Like, basically, if the game ends up not working, because the funny thing is, it's probably gonna work when I test it out on my own. It's just gonna be the time when I actually go to stream it that's probably gonna be, like, a problem. So I need to come up with a backup plan, because I don't wanna, like, start a stream and then having to end it, like, a half hour later, because the game ends up not working on the PC. So I need to come up with something. But I mean, the thing is, though, is, like, I don't know what the fuck else to have. Like, I gotta save up what money I've got left. I don't know. Maybe I'll think of something. Like, if the game ends up not working out, either I can get, like, either I can find a game or I do something else that's scary. I don't know. The thing is like, I was thinking, like, maybe reading scary stories, but I'm like, bruh, I don't know any scary stories. I don't know any scary stories. And even then, I would need permission because I'm a YouTuber. I'm a YouTuber. I can't. I said, I'm a streamer, only streams like once a month. I need stuff. I don't know. I'll figure something out. But then again, if the game ends up just not working out overall, I'll put out a community post saying like, well, there goes the end of that journey. But we'll see. We'll figure it out. As for when this potential stream, this hypothetical stream, will be, because the game I am thinking about playing will probably complete in one sitting. It's not that long. Especially because I already know the plot. It'll be next Friday on the 27th of October. At of course the same time as we've been doing these, which was 9 o'clock p.m. Excuse me for a moment. I need to take a sip. There we go. Alright. So, with that out of the way, I think it's about time we start wrapping things up. Again, I figured it was going to be like 2 hours at most. So yeah, this is fine. But, thank you all for coming. I hope you enjoyed this nice little bite-sized stream. I mean, we got to play through. We got to see the secret ending. We got to see the gays. And, yeah. Yeah, I think that's about it. I hope to see you all again for, well, I would say that, but like, hopefully we'll see each other again next Friday for the end of October. But if not, I'll put out a community post and then we'll see. We'll see what the future holds then. But, yeah, so thank you all for coming, and I hope you all enjoyed the finale to Saintmaker. And then I'll hopefully see you all again next Friday at 9 o'clock p.m. CST. Until then, have a good night, a good week, and I'll see you all next time. Good night, everybody.